What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and it's time for a brand new video talking today about the January transfer window and an important position that I feel Leeds United need to upgrade in and can also raise funds in to strengthen the rest of the team. That's the goalkeeping position, people. Before I get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your thoughts and comments and suggestions below. Thank you to Parrot House for the super thanks on the last video. Always supporting. Appreciate you so much, Parrot House. Thank you for that. He's also a member of the channel. If you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. Now, let's go on to part 5 on this channel of why Leeds United should sell Illan Meslier, strengthen in that position, raise funds, and strengthen the team. Because I feel like I've done this now about 10 times, but as long as Illan Meslier is still here and not improving, it's always going to crop up. Because I'll just speak for myself here. I don't speak for you guys, even though pretty much in every comment that I got on the last video about what Leeds United need to do upon promotion, it was a new goalkeeper. But for me, I speak for myself. I think that we're solid enough in the championship. Obviously, our defensive record is good, but the goalkeeper just makes me nervous. Every time the opposition attacks and they get past our defense, I think, what are we going to get today? Is he going to catch it? Is he just going to let it go through his hands? Is he even going to miss it completely? And you've seen already with Daniel Farke, even with the errors that he's made through the season, because he has attributed to drop points this season, whereas goalkeepers are supposed to save you points. He hasn't brought Cardalo in, and Cardalo's looked all right at international level. So whatever Daniel Farke is not seeing with Cardalo in training or what have you, in his opinion, he's not supplanting Illan Meslier from that position. So for me, it's a very simple thing. Illan Meslier still has transfer value. It doesn't matter what you or I think of him. He has transfer value out there. Leeds United should have cashed it on him in the summer and got someone else, but we can do this again in January. Hopefully they're still takers because the clean sheet record is still there. And even though I know clean sheets is a team stat, they attribute it to goalkeepers a lot, so hopefully they're not looking at his underlying metrics. But in terms of that, I feel like we should cash in, get the money in from that position and build it in another place. Imagine if we could get a winger and attacking midfielder to supplement the rest of this solid team. It would be beautiful. Whether Leeds United do it or not, that's another question. One of these that I can't believe as well, by the way, I mentioned him on this channel before, Thomas Strakosha, who was at Brentford last season, went on a free transfer to Athens. I cannot believe it. Now, I don't know if he would have come to Leeds United, but imagine if you could have sold Illan Meslier to Marseille in the summer, get Strakosha on a free. What an upgrade that is. What an upgrade. Top, just a solid goalkeeper who would have taken us into the Premier League, and I would have had him as an option. And I will say this, with the 3 goalkeepers I mentioned in this video, I don't have too many qualms about taking them into the Prem, because for me, they'll become the second choice to who I would buy in the summer when we do get promoted to the Prem. So these guys are here for the now and as a backup in the Prem. All right. So let me just make that clear. And the first one is, let's go back to Newcastle and ask if they got any more goalkeepers for us. We took Cardalo. Newcastle, do you have any more, sir? Do you have any more? Well, they've got Martin Dubravka, who does not get any first-team football at Newcastle due to Sir Nicholas Pope. And Dubravka, for me, is not a Premier League goalkeeper. I think he doesn't have the tools to do it. I've seen him in too many games in the Prem where the shot selection is just probably a little bit too much for him, but at championship level, Dubravka would be solid enough. And I don't know whether he would cost a fee, maybe come on loan. I saw rumors of Saudi clubs going in for him for about 20 million. I mean, if that's the case, then this one's off the table. But if there's a deal to be made with Newcastle, if it's a loan, then I would have no qualms about Martin Dubravka coming to Leeds United for the season. And solidifying that spot, because for me at shot stopping, especially at a lower level, he is good. It's just that the rest of it, where the Premier League is just that much more intelligent, he doesn't quite have it. He was good in spells for Newcastle, but you could see that, and I said this on this channel before. It's funny that Cardalo came to us last season. Nick Pope was injured. Dubravka went through such a sticky spell that if Cardalo was still there, he would have probably got Premier League games. That's how crazy football works. But I do think that he's a solid enough goalkeeper at this level, but he's my third choice. Second choice would be Dan Bentley, formerly Daniel Bentley. I used to know him as Daniel Bentley, but he's Dan Bentley these days. And this is a funny one for me, because this is like the Gilavogi stuff, where I saw this player 10 years ago. And this is, I don't want to big myself up, but this is where you got the eye for things, because he was at Southend when I saw him. And I think they were in League Two at the time. And I looked at him and I said, he looks like he's going to have a good career. Like, he looks like he could make the step up. Because, you know, in those leagues, League Two, League One, some of those goalkeepers are way, way too iffy. You know what I mean? They're just a little bit dodgy out there. But he stood head and shoulders above for me for Southend when I saw him play. And I said, I reckon he'll move on to the next level. And he did. He moved on to Brentford. He didn't went to Bristol City. He's currently at Wolves now. I think Arsenal were looking at bringing him in as a backup to David Raya, but instead they went for Neto at Bournemouth. But that just shows you just how well thought of he is. And I do think, you know, forget his stat. People think that he's a small goalie. He is a commanding goalkeeper. Really, really good. Shot stopping is brilliant enough, but he gives you that extra protection with his commanding of the area. And obviously that is something we're lacking right now. And I don't think it would be an expensive deal either. You know what I mean? I think it would be quite cheap. I can't remember the rumored fee that Arsenal weren't willing to pay, but it was in the thousands. It wasn't in the millions. It was nowhere near that. So Dan Bentley, for me, if we sold Meslier and got Dan Bentley in as our number one, I would be more than fine with that. Absolutely fine with that, because I do rate Dan Bentley pretty well. And I think he's had a very good championship career as well. So yeah, Dan Bentley, he would be second in line. But my number one choice, if it could happen, is Jason Steele from Brighton. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for this. And I can't believe it now. I mean, this is how quickly time goes, people. Time waits for nobody, because Jason Steele is now 34. I still think of Jason Steele like he's 26, 27, but he's a very experienced goalkeeper. Supplanted the number one spot from Robert Sanchez, who's now at Chelsea, which is just crazy math, isn't it? But he did take over the Brighton number one jersey under De Zerbi because of his ability as a goalkeeper, his ball playing skills. He's kind of like the all-round package, if you will. But obviously at Brighton, Bart Verbruggen is the number one. So he's now cast aside, whereas before he was sharing starts. He's got the recent experience of being a regular in the Premier League, and he's not getting games now. I do think this is an attainable one. And I will say this, even if this is one where Leeds United have to pay a fee, and maybe it would be, I don't know, 2 million, maybe 3 million upon promotion. Let's just go to 4. I think that's a very good goalkeeper to take with you in the Premier League, because not only will he be good for you as a number one in the Championship, for who I would get in as number one, he would be a very, very worthy backup. And I would love to see that. I think Jason Steele, if Leeds United have got the resources, they've got the name, and if we are where we should be by the January transfer window, which we should be, otherwise someone else may need to be replaced, all right, then we should be able to get a Jason Steele to come down to this league for the 6 months, get promoted, and get himself back in the Premier League with this great football club. And I think it is a deal that is more than likely to happen. If you're talking the start of the season, then no, it doesn't happen, because you start in a full season, no one knows where Leeds United are going to be. But if we're in the top 2 spots, Jason Steele not getting football games at Brighton, if there's no other interest in the Premier League, because I do think he could still play in the Prem, by the way, then Leeds United should be all over this one, all over it, because it won't be an expensive deal to make. Wouldn't be. So when you're talking about that, Jason's still coming in, selling Illan Meslier, you can then go and strengthen other areas of the pitch. For me, we probably need another winger at this point. An attacking midfielder would be lovely. A lot of you keep saying striker. That kind of depends on another striker moving out, which is a whole nother video. So we'll go into that another time. But that's what I'm saying. I do feel that these options are more than worthy to take them. And the bonus for this, people, is that they're all experienced goalkeepers. All 3 guys are very, very experienced goalkeepers, which I would love at this point in terms of this football club, having a real experienced head in between in goal. So that is it for the video. Please let me know if there's any other suggestions of yours. Now, what you've heard, people that you think that Leeds United should target or should be able to target come January, if you were to change the goalkeeper. Like the video before you go, guys. That is it for today. See you in the next one, people. Peace out.